I want to actually do some research before the beta starts and see what weapons to play, because that would just be nice to know, right? And there's 14 different weapons. I want to know what they do, how it feels to play them, just so I can. I'm probably gonna play all of them, but I just want to know going into the game how it's gonna
Paradise, and
feel.
what weapon is right for you in Monster Hunter Wilds? It's one of the biggest
Keep in
questions
mind,
in
I've never played Monster Hunter Wilds before. I don't know. Maybe it has references to other games, but we'll have to see.
Monster Hunter, and while there is no best weapon in the game, picking a weapon that matches your playstyle can have better results and skyrocket your enjoyment of the game. With 14 weapons in the
That's a
game,
lot. That's
this
a lot of
can
weapons.
be a daunting task. But in this video, we're going to help you find
I
that
like
answer.
bow. I like blow. I mean, I pay. I like that blow. I like bow, and I play hunter in WoW. I played hunter in WoW for so long. I played classic WoW. I played hunter, wrath. I played hunter for like 10 years, right? So I know hunter. I like bow. But in these types of games, I just feel like melee would be more fun. I don't know. And Lost Ark, I played the guy with the shield, the Lancer, I think, and that was a lot of fun. That like with the stuns and the interrupts and stuff. I obviously played other stuff besides Rangers and melee guys, but to me, Sword and Shield looks pretty cool. And I don't know if like in multiplayer, if you have like a Sword and Shield, like you're the tank. Like, I don't know how aggro works. I'm brand new, guys. I don't know what is what with
So
this.
whether you're a new player stepping into Monster Hunter for the first time, or a more experienced player looking for some quick notes on how your weapon has improved. We'll give you a quick breakdown of all the different weapons and some of their changes with what's happened to them in Monster Hunter Wilds, so
Okay.
you kind of know what you're getting into. This is an even more important choice for experienced players now, because Wilds actually lets you take a second weapon out to hunt. With the demo
So you
releasing
use two.
soon, we're
Okay.
excited to help you find which weapon is best for you.
I
So
wonder if it's like really bad if you like try to switch. Is there like experience that's attached to the weapons, or is it just like, you know, you have a weapon, you can switch at any time, or is like I'm leveling up the weapon, I'm level 100 on my like sword and shield now. If I want to play bow, I have to like grind all that. I wonder if that's how it
let's
works.
dive into it,
I have
and you
no
can tell
idea.
us which weapon you like the look of most. There are few weapons in Monster Hunter that invoke the power of a god and anime.
Longsword?
The longsword
Hell yeah.
ranks high amongst them with a balance of speed and
Be like
power.
Guts.
It has a moveset that allows you to quickly dish out burst damage, while
This looks
also
like-
being able
honestly,
to weave in
this looks like-
defensive gameplay via counters.
This kind of looks like Berserker in Lost Ark.
Playstyle revolves around building up your spirit gauge level, which can then be expended on powerful attacks like the iconic Helmbreaker. For Wilds, the spirit gauge is even more powerful as you get a new red gauge moveset that augments some of your most powerful attacks, giving
That's
you
pretty
access to
cool.
the Crimson Slash combo. There's also the new Spirit Charge
Seems
that will
pretty
have
easy
you
too.
building up your gauge quickly while also dishing out a devastating attack. But if you want to laugh in the face of danger,
I do I like Lance. I think this could be fun, but we'll have to see.
then the Lance is the weapon for you. This weapon is a defensive powerhouse, allowing you to block and counter attacks even through the most fearsome incoming hits. While it looks like it lacks mobility, experienced players will be
Okay,
able
this is the weapons for noobs. You just shield and then you left click. This might be my first weapon.
to move fluidly.
We'll
The
see.
Lance's go-to poke combo has been improved
seems
for
like a
Monster Hunter
noob-friendly
Wilds, allowing for
weapon.
additional options such as more finishes and the ability to sidestep and reposition. Meanwhile, the shield is more involved in your moveset, allowing you to quickly counter-attack and deal element or status damage.
It seems like
But if
OP. It seems OP, but it seems boring. That's what I don't know. Lance seems kind of boring.
If you like devastating raw power that can send enemies reeling in just one hit, then the Greatsword is the perfect match for you. While this weapon may lack mobility, it makes up for it with its meaty, massive chops.
Okay.
And who needs mobility anyway when you can just tackle your way through attacks?
That seems kind of hard though, right? Because like this seems like a hard weapon to use if you don't have any mobility. Like you miss your attack, or you're just not positioned right, and like the mob dodges. That would just feel so bad.
The playstyle for the Greatsword is all about charging up to unleash powerful attacks at the cost of mobility. In Monster Hunter Wilds, the Greatsword gets even stronger, as it's now able to rotate its true charge chop by using focus mode, and tackling through attacks retains your level. This is also one of
Hmm.
the only weapons in Monster Hunter Wilds that can use both the new Clash attack and offset attack mechanic.
Oh,
But if you
that's
fancy
cool.
yourself
I don't know, that kind of, I don't know why all my references are Lost Ark. I feel like the universe is telling me to play Lost Ark for like a day or two to just get out of my system. And then just realize how bad the game is and then come like just quit. It kind of looks like Artillerist. Like Artillerist is so fun on Lost Ark, but it just the abilities come with like a delay. So if you need to know the fights, and then if you know the fights, you can hit stuff. But if you like use like your missile launch and the boss moves, it feels so bad. And that's how I feel like the Great Sword is. Like if you can like read your enemy pretty well, then it's gonna be really strong, it seems.
mechanic. But if you fancy yourself as a little bit of a John Wick, then you might want to take a look
They
at
have
the
a
light
gun?
bowgun. This weapon is all about shooting your way to victory. Its playstyle remains mobile so you can continuously deal damage to
Wait,
a
is it a
target
bow
without
and a
being
gun?
hit. While it may look small, it packs a real punch with its variety of ammo types and mines that can be placed as traps. In Wilds, this weapon has received some massive changes as it focuses more on being a little closer to the monster, but with
Okay.
that risk comes a reward. You now have a rapid fire gauge that can be expended to shoot even more shots per press of the trigger. If there was one
I don't know how I feel about that. That doesn't look that fun, to be honest.
weapon, however, that was all about range,
In my
then it's
opinion,
going
you
to be
know.
the heavy
This is all
bowgun.
subjective.
This weapon has a large ammo capacity and defensive options that make you feel like you're shooting a long-ranged cannon.
I just
It
feel like class fantasy too. It's like, I don't know.
even has a
Like even this, like this, I just feel like it doesn't like fit the universe of Monster. I don't know anything about Monster Hunter, but just like you're out in the wild, right? It just doesn't fit that. At least for me, the playstyle I want.
minigun mode and
I'm gonna
a
try it,
massive
though.
shot
We'll
for
see, it
laying
could be really
down a
fun.
barrage of vicious attacks that will have the biggest monsters trumped. In Wilds, the heavy bowgun now has longer optimal range for ammo, an offset attack that can counter incoming monster hits, and the ignition gauge that can be used to shoot special ammo. But if you would
I
rather
just feel like there's no like it doesn't seem much impact behind those like those guns and their like abilities. Whereas like the sword, you can like see it, maybe feel it. I don't know. The animations for the guns don't look like that satisfying in comparison.
focus on speed, elemental damage bonuses, and becoming Levi from Attack on Titan,
Yes.
then you might want to pick up the Dual Blades as your weapon of choice. This weapon focuses on building up your demon gauge using quick and mobile attacks. Once filled, it can be used to unleash even more powerful and devastating
So it's like
attacks.
the sword, okay.
In Wilds, the Dual Blades now have the ability to weave between the potent Demon Dance and Demon Flurry for an extended combo. And for those quick on your toes, if you're able to hit a perfect dodge, you'll gain the Evasion State buff, which increases your elemental damage and attack damage, as well as allowing
This
you to
looks
attack
so
while
fun.
dodging.
Okay, this one's my
The bow,
favorite one so far. This just you're just like crazy. That looks really fun.
however, provides high mobility in combat, but don't presume that this
I honestly am surprised there were guns. I thought there was only bow. I didn't know there were multiple range weapons.
compromises its damage capabilities. It boasts significant power, and if you've dreamed of becoming Legolas from Lord of the Rings, then this could be your weapon
It's weird. All the range footage is like the monster. I don't know if they're like kiting or the monster just like sits there and doesn't attack them.
of choice. The playstyle revolves around managing your charge level on your attacks
Okay, that-
to deal increased damage,
oops,
and you
that
can
time it
select
did.
the right ammo coating for the situation. In Wilds, you get access to some crazy new additions. The trick gauge
So it looks
means
like
that
your
you're able
attacks like kind of like CC the mob. Okay.
to refill your
It's kinda broken.
coatings and use attacks that allow your arrows to home in on targets. It also benefits from well-timed dodges to refill your stamina and the gauge all in one go. Next, the community calls this one the most technical weapon, but once
Oh, okay. Charge
you
blade.
have your head wrapped around its playstyle, the Charge Blade will have you dealing some of the most powerful attacks in the game. This weapon is all about managing your files, which can be used to power up different components of the weapon. Seasoned players are able to guard incoming attacks using the guard point mechanic, and the
As a
learning curve
wait.
is definitely worth it for this weapon.
Oh, we
In
got
Wilds,
okay.
the Charge Blade benefits from the return of the Savage Axe mode and a new overcharging file mechanic. Plus, there's new guard points to master and extended combos for the super amped element discharge. But the hammer
That
is
does seem like this UI up here seems really intriguing. I'm like, what does this mean? Like you charge it up. This weapon does look the most interesting so far out of all of them. Like the longsword and the dual blades look like really fun to me, but they just seem basic. You know, you do damage, you charge it up, you do big charge attacks. That's good. Lance seems kind of mid. I don't know. The bows and the rangers don't look that good either. But charge blade honestly is on my radar too. And I'm happy that there's like difficulty curves to these. I remember even watching the announcement video they had a month ago. They were like discussing that with the charge blade, it's a pretty hard weapon to use. And one of the combos, you know, there was a lot of feedback on, but they wanted to keep it a hard ability to use so that the players can get more satisfaction when they land that combo, right? Which I'm all for.
Charge Blade benefits from the return of the Savage Axe mode and a new overcharging file mechanic.
I like the animations
Plus, there's
too.
new
She's
guard
just like
points to
flinging
master
this
and
huge
extended
fucking,
combos
that's
for the
sick.
super amped element discharge. But the hammer is great at knocking things out and dealing a ton of burst damage. While the playstyle is fairly simple, it is also a very powerful weapon in the right hands. It's all about bonking things, and unlike most weapons, it deals blunt damage, which is great at breaking parts, meaning you'll get extra rewards if you hit the right places.
Okay.
Wilds, the hammer
I wonder if there's gonna be like a multiplayer meta. Like that's what I'm thinking right now. It's like you get like your buddies. I don't know how many people you can have. Like 4 maybe max. I'm blind, guys. I know I said that, but I have no idea how multiplayer or any of this stuff works. You can have like 4 people max, I'm guessing. Maybe like 5 in a party, and you just like you got like this guy, so he CCs, builds up that stun meter. You got at least 1 or 2 range guys, and then one of these weapons, and then you can probably flex. No, so okay, this is the meta, right? You get the lance, you get the tank, you got this guy with the hammer, you got a charge blade, melee DPS, you got 1 or 2 ranged.
Can do some cool things like the mighty charge that allows you to quickly spin your hammer to generate charge, and offset attacks that are tied into your golf swing. Next is the hunting horn, but you would be wrong to just consider this as a support weapon. While it's great at providing team
Alright, we're getting rid of a range, we're adding the hunting horn if it's a support.
This weapon is also great at dishing out amazing damage when in the right hands. The playstyle for this weapon focuses on pressing a series of button attacks in the right order, where you can then stack notes to create songs, which generate...
it's like Bard from Final Fantasy 14. Okay, so it's like the Bard. I played Bard in Final Fantasy 14. It's fun.
Additional buffs and benefits. It's perhaps one of the most underrated weapons in the game, and having a hunting horn player in your party can turn the tide of battle in your favor.
Okay, I'm a support main in most of the games I play, competitive games. You know, Marvel Rivals, League of Legends. I love playing support, but in this type of game, in a PvE type of game, I don't think I will main support because all my friends suck at video games. So, I don't know. We'll see. You know, I'm gonna be supporting these guys, and it'll be I can just picture like someone with like one of my friends who sucks at games is gonna definitely go like the hardest thing. You know, it's like I suck at League. Let me play like the hardest champ. Let me play Lee Sin. And so one of my friends will go with what is it? The charge blade. And then he'll be doing like less. If there was like a recount or like a details damage meter, I would be ahead of him playing this.
In Monster Hunter Wilds, the hunting horn got some amazing additions, such as being able to create echo bubbles that buff you and deal damage.
Wow, this looks
you
fun,
have increased song speed and a counter via a new offset attack.
I wonder if Monster Hunter has like a multiplayer like party creator, like group finder. You know, it's like we're looking for, I don't know. We want to kill this dragon on like Giga Hard fucking legendary mode. We need a level 100, you know, freaking hunting horn. I have no idea. This is a kind of a unique genre, I feel like.
If, however, you're looking for a staff-based weapon, then you're probably going to like the look of the Insect Glaive. This weapon allows you to buff yourself with your trusty Kinsect companion to deal even more damage. You can use the Kinsect to attack with you, or the Insect Glaive itself to gain more height and attack from a different direction. The Insect Glaive in Monster Hunter Wilds is more grounded than some of the more recent Monster Hunter games, but for that trade-off, you gain some powerful grounded attacks and the ability to attack with your Kinsect while in focus mode. You can now also gain all 3 buffs by using charged attacks or the new focus strike.
This looks fun.
Now,
wow.
in the realm...
Honestly, that has the coolest moves out of any other weapon so far. It's doing like backflips and somersaults and just like you got like a pet. Okay, so Insect Glaive looks good too.
Monster Hunter, the Gunlance.
Gunlance, this is what I played in Lost Ark. Gunlancer
Stands as a resolute shield. It combines the strength of the lance with the firepower of a cannon, enabling you to relentlessly pressure your prey with a series of bombardments. And at the opportune moment, you can unleash a devastating, super-powered strike. This weapon exemplifies the perfect equilibrium between precision, piercing attacks, and explosive bombardments that's kind of reminiscent of a movie. In
Okay.
Wilds, the Gunlance has received some impressive improvements. Its shelling will now scale with various
Oh,
different
dude, this is like
sources,
Lost
it
Ark.
has
That's
multiple
literally Lost
blast
Ark.
follow-up attacks, and a drill that can pierce the heavens for a focused strike. But next is one of the most...
Okay, Gunlancer looks pretty sick too. Dude, I'm torn. All of these look pretty sick. There's only a few I don't like. Sword and shield, let's see.
highly recommended starter weapons, the sword and shield, which offers a versatile playstyle with a single weapon. It can deliver powerful raw attacks with its slower, heavier hits with its shield, and allows you to exploit elemental weaknesses on monsters with its faster sword combos. For a more defensive approach though, the shield can also be utilized for effective protection.
Oh, drink a potion.
In Wilds, the sword and shield is even more mobile, with the ability to attack and reposition while using focus mode, and it has a charged chop with a new meaty attack that hits multiple times.
I don't know,
But
the
if
sword, like, it doesn't seem that long of a sword. I don't know if it's just like that design of that weapon, but it looks like it's barely a dagger, dude.
versatility, impactful combos, and extra style points are at the top of your list for which weapon to pick, then the switch axe should be a high-ranking contender. It combines two forms of fighting style in one, allowing you to freely switch between the long reach of the axe mode and
like
the
Bloodborne.
explosive and powerful swings of the sword mode, allowing for adaptability in different combat situations. In Wilds, the switch axe is taken to a whole new level, with improvements to both modes and extended combos like the new full release and compressed slash.
Wow, okay.
In the past, a weakness of the switch axe was its limited mobility and lengthy attack animations. But these are now insignificant worries, as in Wilds, its axe form is granted a new offset attack, allowing you to respond to incoming attacks quickly and with style. Meanwhile, the axe mode has gained a separate counter
Wow,
that is fairly
the
quick to
animations are
combo or
sweet.
cancel into, making the entire weapon more responsive to danger. But which two weapons are you liking the look of most to take on hunts with you? Put your
you can use
picks and
two.
why down.
I can use two. Okay, so it's weird because some weapons have like a meter with them, and then others just don't at all. Which I guess, I don't know. It kind of that might feel bad, right? Like the longsword, you got this cool meter you charge up. It's kind of like it's like that thing. It's like the job gauge in Final Fantasy 14. Every job has a gauge that's really unique that really shows that job off. Like the lance doesn't have it. Great sword, I believe the great sword does have it. So we'll have to see how that feels, but let me see. The top two, if I want to start, this is just a new perspective. You know, this is my first time ever looking at Monster Hunter weapons at all, you know. So I think for me, in terms of like strength, if I want to be a meta slave, which with this type of game, I probably won't be because it's, you know, I want to play this game for fun. I'm playing League of Legends. But if I was gonna go meta, honestly, I think if you're playing solo, it's probably a range and melee combo. I have no idea though. That's the thing, I have no idea. I feel like you need some experience to try, but maybe like a ranged and a melee you can weave in and out. And then for fun though, what I'm really looking forward to playing, I think I'm gonna try Gunlancer if I want to play a tank. Although the tanks do
With the
seem a little slower in playstyle, which would be fine. I think I would want to play a Gunlance though in a group. I like being the tank in games like this because I can like lead everybody. I can set the pace of the fights and stuff. I can CC. I like being the tank here. I also like support, like I mentioned earlier, so I could see myself playing Hunting Horn in groups. But if I was gonna play solo, I think the weapon I would want to play the most for fun is Charge Blade. This one looks the coolest so far. I have no idea really how this works with this gauge, with this gauge technology. Like, no idea what this means, but just the animations look sweet. The weapon looks sick. And I think besides that, the dual blades looks really fun. Looks like a rogue. The insect glaive, not really sure how this looks at all. It looks cool, but I'm not really sure how it
with you
plays.
or the
I don't know. I'll have to try that out. And then yeah, I think so those are like the really highlights for me, and the things that look not great are the range stuff. Like
quick, then you might
you're just like left clicking. I don't know. I
want
mean,
to take a look at the light bowgun. This weapon is all about shooting your way to victory. Its playstyle remains mobile, so you can continuously deal damage to the target without being hit.
It's literally the same thing, but it's just like different weapon, different like a little bit of a different animation. But it's literally the same gameplay.
It may look small, it packs a real punch with its
but range looks like crap in this game. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say
bowgun.
The bow guns look awful to play just from this, but the
weapon,
bow looks
this compromises
pretty cool,
its damage capability.
The bow, I've seen the rain of arrows and like the thing where you target like the weak points, but these bow guns just don't really do much for me. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. What are you gonna play? I'm gonna play all of them in the beta, but what are you looking forward to playing? Seems interesting, but yeah, so far pretty good video. Pretty good video. I am excited. I'm so excited to play this game now after watching this. I just it's like 2 weeks away. Damn.